Hello everyone, in today's video we tackle the Valley of Defilement. So for this particular area, this is called 5-1, also known as the Depraved Chasm in the Valley of Defilement. For this loadout, we are going to be using the Cling Ring as well as the Thief's Ring to help avoid getting noticed by various ne'er-do-goods, as they say. Also, if you haven't already checked out my first video in this series detailing how you get this end game armor from King Doran right at the very first area, the beginning of the game, as well as 25,000 souls to start off with, go ahead and click the suggested video link, and I'll also link it in the description below. So we teleport into the Depraved Chasm. We're just going to go grab a lot of useful items here, because a lot of the items are the Noble's Lotus, which actually counteracts poison, which is a very useful consumable in this area because we intend to be poisoned quite a bit as we make our way through the Valley of Defilement. So we're basically taking this spiral staircase up here, and we have the Dragon Longsword. I have it maxed out to +5, which is great because it should take care of these guys with absolutely no problem, as the vast majority of enemies in this area are weak to fire damage. So we are going to kind of make a beeline through 5-1 here, because really there isn't anything that's great for us item-wise, and we're really just trying to clear our way through the game at this point. If you followed my walkthrough up until this point, we're at the tail end of it. There's only a few levels to remain, about a handful of levels to go. And this is probably the easiest of them all, especially at this point of our build, where we have tons of souls, a lot of health, a lot of stamina, and a +5 flaming weapon. So we're going to go through here, and you have to be careful with your footing in the Valley of Defilement, and especially this area here, because there are a lot of ways to just misstep and fall to your doom, or fall into a nest of a ton of enemies who can stun lock combo you and kill you off pretty quickly. So we want to try to avoid that and just take your time as you're making your way through these ramparts and these decrepit buildings. There is one area of the roof here that I do believe caves in as I'm walking through. No, it's a little bit later on that we come to that point. But as you can see, there's just these little draggling villains. They have the little flame spears. And as you can see, they don't really do that much damage to me right now. And that's by design, because I've held off on the Valley of Defilement pretty much until the very end of the game because it is annoying. I should have fallen to my death right there. I got really lucky and was able to stay balanced on the platform here. But these draglings appear everywhere, and they are constantly trying to get the drop on you and surprise you in areas that you may not have looked prior or before. And as you can see, they always seem to have the quick attack to do a little bit of damage. But again, it's pretty negligible. You can heal through it without too much trouble. So we're going to head down this spiral staircase, I guess you can call it, to a drawbridge. I'm using the R2, so the thrusting attack from the Dragon Longsword, again, because it helps keep my balance. I'm not slinging myself forward too much, and it allows me to prevent falling over. Also, I'm using some good old-fashioned magic, even though it takes a couple of magic attacks to eliminate my enemies here. So I'm going to be using the melee R2 a lot more often than the magic, mostly because the fire damage from this weapon is just so incredibly strong, and it's more than enough to take out the draglings in this area. As you can see, I'm taking them out. Now, this is the actual rampart where the roof will cave in if I'm not careful, and I need to watch my footing. They also, wow, Darkmoon Grass, that's a really good drop for such a early enemy. And as you can see, the roof kind of fell apart, but I'm like, YOLO, I'll jump in and just start swinging my weapon around. And as you can see, it's more than enough. It can deal with them pretty well. I've taken out most of the other surprise guards, so they shouldn't be dropping in from out of nowhere, and I enter in through the fog gate and proceed downward from there. Again, another Noble Lotus, 3 of them, which is also great because we will get poisoned a lot in the second area of the Valley of Defilement for sure, but we might also get it a couple of times here as well. More draglings means we just take them down as best we can. There are a lot of them hiding in these bushes, so you can just kind of swing wildly to make sure you take them all out. Faint stone shards are items that allow you to bless weapons, and with bless weapons equipped, you get slow HP generation. It's great for a HP regen build, but not something we desperately need, so we can skip the big points to get the faint stone chunks and pure faint stone, even though we're going to come across them at some point pretty quickly early on in this area, as well as in 5.2. So as you can see here, I'm healing up and I'm taking this stairwell down. And there we see the filthy woman. She sells things, faint stone shards and other items, noble lotus, but things you don't really care too much for. These rats are plague rats, and plague is a much worse version of poison. Your health drains much, much faster when you are plagued. To counteract that, there is another lotus item. It is the soldier's lotus, I believe it's called, and that allows you to counteract the plague. And as you can see, I'm going to jump into a menu real quick and utilize that. Widow's Lotus is the name of it, by the way. I apologize. Widow's Lotus is the item that counteracts the plague. So you'll need that for the next area of the Valley of Defilement, and especially in the boss fight for the Archdemon in this area. But there's only one more instance, I think, where plague rats become a thing. And here you see the giant dredgelings. These guys pack a huge wall up even early on in 5.1, even at this point in the game. So you'll want to dispatch them quickly. You just bait out their attack, dodge backwards or to the side or even through them, and then just haul off as best you can with your weapon. It only takes a few strikes to bring them down at this point. More of these plague things. As you can see, the one of them tagged me. I got poisoned. And we will get to a point now where I think I botched this area up pretty hard. And as you see, I'm trying to use the Soul Ray to get two enemies at once. It didn't work out for me there. And as you can see, the poison is still taking its turn and taking its time mowing through me. Oh, and as you see, that really does a lot of damage for an early area of the game like this. So, and now is around the time where, you know, I realize I'm poisoned and I have to keep dodging his attacks. But as you can see, just roll backwards, run up, swing a couple of times, rinse and repeat. He's pretty self-explanatory and pretty self-contained in those points in this level. So as you can see, I'm trying to heal. I almost died to the poison right there. So good luck for me that I was quick to the draw on the grass items. And that's, you could just continually chomp down grass as much as you can to get through it. But as you can see, I also thought I was plagued and not poisoned. So I botched and I used a Widow's Lotus, which was a bad idea. So instead I go with the Noble's Lotus, and that relieves me of the poison. We're going to keep moving down here, and it's basically just a very slow descent, and here is what I believe to be the boss room. You can see all the leeches hanging around the area of the boss area, and that's where we find the Leechmonger. The Leechmonger isn't a very difficult boss fight, to be sure. It's pretty self-sufficient. All you need to do with Leechmonger is run as fast as you can. You want to try to get down to the base level. I got lucky there. I should have fallen and taken a lot more damage, but I didn't. Because he takes these projectiles, and the projectiles contain these leeches, and if it hits you, it slowly drains your health. So you want to get down there and go one-on-one against him as fast you can. So here you can see I'm just hauling off on Leechmonger here. He does his little flailing temper tantrum attack, which, again, isn't that big of a deal for us at this point in the game. And you can just see I'm just chunking out his health with my combos. Over 300 damage with a fully upgraded Dragon Longsword, and it really just trivializes this fight, and the Leechmonger is put down for good. Pretty straightforward and easy at this point in our playthrough. So that is pretty much 5.1. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, kindly go ahead and leave a like, thumbs up, subscribe, and a comment in the comment section below if there's any way you would like me to reformat these. But I look forward to seeing you in the next video of our Demon Souls walkthrough. And if you ever want to hang out outside of these videos, you're welcome to follow me on Twitch. I'll leave a link to that in the description below as well. So until then, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next area of our Demon Souls walkthrough.